Hi everyone, iPhone here, back with another video. And today, I want to explore VBA. VBA is dead, long live VBA, right? Microsoft has said internet macros are blocked by default in Office. Well, is this true? Is it not true? From an attacker perspective, is this still useful? From a defender perspective, do we still have to worry about this? Maybe, maybe not. So let's check that out. So let's start here with what's happening. Microsoft has said they're blocking macros by default from the internet. And you'll see this banner, security risk. Microsoft has blocked macros from running because the source of this file is untrusted. Well, how could they possibly figure out if a source of a file is untrusted? Simple. Mark of the web. So let's take a look at this. If we go over here to our Windows 10 host 2, and first I'm going to show you a couple things. First, Defender is on. Real-time protection, cloud-delivered protection. Automatic sample submission is off because I don't like my beacons getting eaten. But we're going to download some XLs with some macros and see how it behaves. First, let's download a fully malicious one. This is Malware Bazaar. If you haven't seen this before, this is a great place to get sample malware. We're going to take a XLSX here, and I'm just going to download the first one. And this is zipped and with a password of infected. Now, Defender can read the hash of what's inside your zips. So your zips with infected don't work anymore, right? So if you're a malware analyst, you better figure out another format real quick. But we're going to hit download here and see if Defender eats this. It may not. This is a total toss up here. So I'm going to go save. And let's give it a second. And no, virus detected. See? Defender eats it. Good. That's what you want. If somebody's downloading something with a virus in it, you want it eaten as a defender. Does that mean we can't get something by this? Well, we'll see. So let's start over here. We're going to download an innocent LSXN from my Kali box. So I have these hosted direct via HTTP over on my Kali box. I'm going to download this and we'll just go save as. And it's a macro enabled worksheet. And it downloaded, no problem. Now, what I want you to see here is how they do this. So notice we have this file came from another computer and might be blocked to help protect this computer. This is Mark of the Web. Mark of the Web is an alternate data stream that is applied to files when they are downloaded from the web. And that is a zone identifier of 3. So if we do this, we'll go get item, innocent XLSM. We're going to go get content stream, and we're going to look for the zone identifier. And notice we have a zone ID of 3. That means it came from the web. And here's where it came from, right? Great. Okay, so this is how Windows knows things come from the web. If I open this now, we'll go ahead and open it. It's going to show us macros being blocked because Mark of the Web is in place. So we'll give it just a second here, let it open. And then it says protected view. Be careful. Files from the internet can contain viruses. So this is good. Protected view is another layer where you can see the data, but you can't edit it. You can't change it in any way. So most people are going to go enable editing. And then this says it has macros. Sorry, Microsoft has blocked it because the file's untrusted. Okay, great. Well, what happens if Mark of the Web's not there? Let's figure that out. So we'll go ahead, we'll go to Properties. We'll unblock this file, hit Apply. Okay. Let's see if the macro runs. Now it looks different. Macros have been disabled. Enable content. And then we'd know that VBA isn't dead. And we can even do an entry here. And multi-line VBA is working. So, what does this mean for us as attackers? What it means is, quite simply, all we have to do is trick the user into clicking those buttons. This tactic's been around for a while, right? That's why you're getting phishes sent to you with ISO files and VHXD files and encapsulated files, because what's happening is they're trying to get by Mark of the Web. Then they simply tell the user, hey, I need you to click these couple of buttons so you can decrypt the file. And then once that happens, they can get in action. Now, Defender's done a good job clamping down on some of this stuff, but is it impossible to get by? I don't know. Let's find out. I'm going to come over here to my Kali box, and I'm going to start a Netcat listener on 4444. Very common bad guy port, right? 4444, been around forever. Just to see, right? I used this port. And then I'm going to use a tool called BobTheSmuggler. So BobTheSmuggler is an HTML smuggling application. And what it does is put the file that you want into a zipped password protected or 7-zip password protected library, and then it actually puts it inside an HTML image. This tends to get by like every control because there's no website, there's no real download, you're just looking at an image. To the end user, though, if this is done right, they don't even notice. And I'll give you an example here in a minute. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to use BobTheSmuggler. And I have this employee agreement _ XLSM that I put in my web directory. I'm giving it a password of attack. I'm giving it a format of 7-zip. 7-zip is different than zip. It doesn't put the hash in the header. And then we're going to give it OneDrive.html is the output file. Inside that file is going to be employment7z, and it's going to be the format of an SVG, and I'm going to use this template that actually comes with BobTheSmuggler. Pretty cool. So let's do that. I did that, and then we're going to copy that up to our HTML root. Okay. Now we're going to come back over here to our Win10 host. And we're going to open our OneDrive.html. So imagine I've sent a phish in to one of your employees, told them I want to hire them away. And here's your employee agreement. Quite simply, just fill this out and we'll get you hired. So we click on this and notice it looks like OneDrive, right? Looks just like OneDrive. So if I hide this for a second, Microsoft OneDrive download started. Cool. User's not going to notice that. They might notice if this is not HTTPS, but you can put this on a CDN, right? There's no need for you to not make this look real. Then I can go save as, and I'm going to save this down as 7-zip. Employees are used to getting zip documents. It's quite common, right? So you just in the phish, you tell them, hey, in this 7-zip, this is highly encrypted stuff, man. It's really secret. You got to put in a password to extract it, and then you're going to have to unencrypt the file. Right? So we'll do this. We're going to extract our 7-zip file. Extract here. We're going to give it our password. And then we're going to have our employee agreement. Now, what does an employee agreement have? Mark of the Web. Why? Because the container file has it. It doesn't transfer. So notice here, the container file has Mark of the Web, but the XLSM does not. The XLSM file does not have that. So what does that mean? It'll run macros, and it won't go into protected mode, and it won't block macros. So as an attacker, is this hard for us to get users to do this? No, we can totally do this. Now, what's our barrier to entry? Defender or your EDR. Can we get it by EDR? Well, you can. So let's go ahead. We're going to open employee agreement here. And I think I did click it. There it goes, employee agreement. And then, like I said, you quite simply tell them, hey man, I need you to enable content and enable editing to decrypt this document. And this is quite funny. I stole this image from a campaign that was going on. And if you look at it, the English is broken. This steps are required, right? Sure. So once we go enable content, the macro is going to run in the background. If I pop over here to Kali, I've got a shell. So is VBA dead? No, it's not. What can I do with this? I'm an interactive shell as this user. I can just do whatever I want to do. Now I will say this. In my experimentation, I tried to use PowerShell. Defender ate it from behavioral. I tried to use HTAs. Defender ate it. I tried to use an MSI. Defender ate it. But a straight shell and using an application called MacroPack and a few others to do some obfuscation and fix the code, it works. And this works on a fully patched version of Windows 10 with Defender fully running. So can you use VBA to deliver your initial payloads? Absolutely you can. You could probably go as far if you were willing to do the obfuscation to get one of your beacon programs running. Of course, now that I've got control of the host, I don't need that. I can install any beacon I want, right? I have command line as its user. And it is interactive. So if I go, who am I? There I am. If I go PowerShell, I've got an interactive PowerShell session as this user. And most likely they're an admin already. Most environments make their local people admins, even still to date. And if they're not, you could try your escalation methods to get up to admin from a regular user. But this still works. So I hear a lot of bluster on the internet. Yeah, VBA is dead. We don't have to worry about that anymore. I hear that from customers and I'm like, it's not dead. You can totally still use this. Even if it's just this initial shell. It gets you further than nothing would, right? Than trying to send in an executable, than trying to do exploitation, right? So phishing, still a vector. VBA macros, still a vector as it stands. Now, eventually when they pull VBA out completely, they've said they're going to Python, which is going to be even more of a field day than this. But VBA still fully functional, still works. Now, I want to show you guys one more thing over here. This macro just looks insane, though. Don't expect to get it by an EDR and this look functional. It's going to be crazy. So we'll just do edit here. We'll close out the main one. And this is how much obfuscation I had to do to get it by Defender. The only thing that was clear text is like the port. So, and that was just so I could easily change it if I needed to. But if you look at this, you can barely read this code. It is just, that's just the variables. That's not the code. Down here we get into the code. Practically unreadable, right? This was out of MacroPack. There was multiple functions. I then had to do a sub auto open down here to get it to run. It was just madness. And I had to fight with it quite a bit, even after coming out of the tools to make it useful. So realize it's much tougher than it used to be. You're not just going to run a random VBA macro and it get by an EDR or Defender or any of those things. So is VBA dead? No. Is it still awesome for red teamers? Yeah. Is it still something that Defenders should be thinking about? Absolutely. Why? These techniques for ISOs being sent in and encapsulation formats being sent in are still ongoing. I know most of my customers get ISO files sent to them all the time. They'll get VHXD files. They get all these encapsulated formats sent in. And do you think a user's not going to click this? If you don't think they're going to click it, you're deluded. They absolutely will click this and enable that macro and let it run. So it's a good test for your organization. Good for, penetration tests, red teaming engagements. But yeah, VBA, not dead. And that's all I have for you. Thank you. Hack the planet to defend better.